all betrayal hits the same. Some of y'all got betrayed by your own steps this morning. Missed one step, and your whole Monday said, absolutely not. And then some of you walked straight into a glass door like it wasn't sitting in plain sight. And then some of you bit your own tongue while eating. Like, how does your mouth betray you like that? Or if you tripped over absolutely nothing, your foot said, I got you, and then completely folded. And now when you think about it, it's hilarious when objects do it, but it hits different when people do it. And that kind of betrayal, it doesn't stay for a moment. It literally rides shotgun into your Monday, messing with your mood, your trust, and your peace. If that's you right now, stick with me because today we're going to deep dive on betrayal, the painful parts, the hidden lessons, the surprising ways that it can actually upgrade your life.
This is Mon, still showing up.
Hosted by Denise.
Let's get into everybody's favorite part, the Mon stories, okay? And let's dive right in. So, someone said, I went to a friend's birthday party at Applebee's. Everything was normal. We were having fun, laughing. The vibes were great. I get up to use the bathroom real quick. I come back. Why is the entire table gone? Like, not one person, the whole party dipped. So I'm standing there like, oh, so this is what we're doing, confused. So I walked up to the front and I'm like, hey, I was at the table. I just want to pay for my part. I paid my little $20 and got out of there. I haven't stepped foot in Applebee's ever since. I thought I'd just share this story because I thought about it. Can you imagine your whole party dipping on you? I'm going to tell you something. Not everybody that you sit with is your people or your friends, okay? Because my question is, I'm assuming that they all left and didn't pay.
Probably.
But here's my thing. If you work at a fast food restaurant, would have charged that whole person's card that was there or just the one person? Because they'd be like, no, you got to pay for the whole tab. You know what I mean? So, hey, at least you got away with playing your part, right? Honestly, sometimes people leaving you behind is the clearest answer that you'll ever get. And hopefully you're not friends with them anymore. Okay. That's crazy. Has somebody ever dipped on you in terms of like you having dinner with somebody and they just dipped?
I don't know. That'd be the last time I saw them.
Exactly. Someone said, I work in this pretty chill office. Nothing typically goes wrong. But for some reason, people's lunches kept missing. Like not once, not twice, but consistently. And no one knew who it was. So one day, somebody decided to steal the wrong lunch. They stole the CFO's lunch. It's midday. Everybody's just working like normal. And suddenly the intercom goes off across the whole building. And I'm not even thinking anything of it until I hear. To the person who took my lunch, I hope you enjoy it because I spit in every single slice of that sandwich. And when I tell you the entire office went silent, like imagine sitting there chewing and hearing that. Okay, that was a funny story. What would you do? Here's my thing. Imagine you're super hungry and somebody eats your lunch. Like it's a really good office lunch that you bring and somebody just steals your lunch. I would have been mad. I would have tested. See, what you need to do is when you go into work this Monday or maybe the following Monday, and then share with me, you're going to make a food, something that looks really nice that somebody's going to want to steal with it. Well, hopefully you caught the person by now, but you're going to add some laxatives in it. Like the liquid laxatives or something. And then you're going to catch the guy because they're going to continuously be going to the bathroom, shitting themselves.
Do they not have cameras?
That too.
Just check the cameras, bro.
But for the plot, just do it for the plot.
Don't catch a case because of Louis.
Do it for the plot and just be like, "Oh yeah, that's how I take my laxatives every single day. I take it with my lunch."
Good.
Hey, at least you showed up. I will say that I didn't share in my last mon, but this mon, I mean, I'll share it for this mon. Mercedes, tell me how every 2 weeks on a Monday I present to like the upper management or whatever, and I share my screen. I pull up my presentation, share my screen. I forgot I was sharing my screen, bruh.
Oh God.
And everybody just saw me just playing around. Like once I was done, or I was like, okay, does anybody have any questions? And then my manager chimed in to speak a little bit, but I was still sharing my screen. I completely forgot. And I was just messing around with the calendars, responding to emails while this was all going on. It was like for a good like 5 minutes.
I can't.
And then nobody told me anything. I guess it was like nothing bad on the screen because they would have just said it. But I that was just a mon moment for me. I forgot I was sharing my screen in front of really important people.
Well, at least they could see you were working and not.
Right, exactly. They saw I was working, so I showed up. And then this past Saturday, I made coffee in a grec. Okay, this past Saturday was horrible for coffee. Okay, I did not have a good sip of coffee last Saturday because one, I made coffee and I guess I didn't. Something was wrong with the greca. And for those of you who don't know who a greca is, just a greca. I don't know how to explain a greca. How would you explain a greca to them? But anywho, the whole greca lid just went flying up and coffee went everywhere, in the ceilings, on the floor, like just a whole mess. And it took me a whole hour to clean it up. I still showed up. After that, I went to Dunkin' and the coffee was horrible. Okay. The end.
Nothing.
The end. I still showed up. So, Dunkin', do you prefer Dunkin' or Starbucks? I prefer Starbucks now. Dunkin' used to hit, but just Dunkin' is not dunking it for
Your
me.
drink got fucked up, and I told you it was gonna get fucked up
Yeah.
because she did not understand what you were saying.
It was
Having a
common
long.
sense.
It depends on the drink. If I want like a latte, like an iced latte, I like Dunkin'. But if I want like just an iced coffee, I like Starbucks. I like Starbucks.
See, comment below what you guys prefer. But just Starbucks been hitting because I finally nailed down my Starbucks order. So I just get mad where you go somewhere else and you won't get it. Or it's not as, strong as France coffee. But anyways, guys, continue sharing your Mon stories. But now let's get into things, okay? Because as I mentioned earlier, today we're going to be talking about something that every single one of us has experienced at some point, which is betrayal. And you might be wondering, okay, why are we diving into this on a Monday? And if I'm being honest with you, a lot of you are listening on your commute or after a long day or while getting ready or and you're still, replaying that text message, that comment, that situation that felt off. And betrayal doesn't clock out on a Friday. It follows you, it will affect you, it will show up at your work, how you trust others and how you interact and how you see yourself in the mirror. And when we look at the Bible, especially, fresh off Good Friday, we're reminded that even Jesus was betrayed by Judah, one of his own disciples, right? And yet that betrayal didn't cancel the purpose, right? It actually moved the story forward. So this message isn't about what someone did to you, it's about what you choose to carry into this week. And Monday is supposed to be a reset, but it only feels like one when you stop replaying the hurt and start applying what it taught you. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth, right? And sometimes betrayal doesn't come out of nowhere. Sometimes sometimes you already felt that in your spirit, something was wrong, that toxic draining job, that friendship that felt one-sided, or that situation that no longer aligns with who God is calling you to become. You clearly sensed it, like, this isn't for me. But instead of trusting that inner voice, we hold on. We make excuses. We try to force it to work. And little by little, it starts weakening us. I'll be honest with you. I lived this before. A few years ago, I invited somebody who I considered a friend to my birthday party. I was excited, good food, great music. It was outdoor, Cancer Baby July. And I just wanted my people around me celebrating me. But weeks leading up to it, I started noticing a little shift in her energy, her comments, and sometimes the way that she moved. And if I'm keeping it 100, the signs were there. You know, I, Friends had pulled me aside and said, I don't trust her. And even family members, just be careful with that one. And what did I do? I offended her hard. Like, nah, she's cool. Y'all don't know her like I do. And meanwhile, the red flags were there in 4K. Then the party happened. I caught her offside with her partner, talking negatively about me while I'm standing there in the space that I created and prayed for. And it wasn't even about the size of the party, it was about the lack of respect, the energy, and the realization that this person was in my moment of joy and still choosing to speak negatively about me. And I had that quiet, sinking moment like, oh, so this is what they meant by the signs. Because betrayal doesn't always scream, right? Sometimes it whispers in small, uncomfortable moments that don't sit right in your spirit. And in that moment, I had a real choice whether I ignore it, brush it off, or keep the friendship going like nothing happened, or be honest and choose myself. And what I do, I chose myself, right? I didn't argue. I didn't go back and forth. I didn't try to fix her or force the relationship. I just clipped it. Clean, no long explanation. And to this day, I know she still asks mutual friends, I don't know what I did to her. And honestly, that's fine. Not everything needs a court style room debate. Sometimes people know exactly what they did, they just didn't expect you to finally move differently. And let me be real, okay? I didn't need a snake in the grass at my birthday party because, it was literally outside. So, I chose the peace, I chose the distance, and I stopped giving access to somebody who was comfortable disrespecting me in a space meant to celebrate me. And what's crazy is about a year later, that's when I let go and I met my current best friend, the real one, and the one who celebrates my wins louder than I do, who shows up consistently, has no hidden agenda. That's when everything made sense, right? I had been so busy gripping the wrong person with both hands that I was almost blocking the right ones from coming in. And sometimes God can't deliver the blessing because your hands are still full of what you've been calling loyalty. Not everybody who has access to you is meant to. Some people just study you. Some people try to learn your patterns, figure out your weakness, and not help you grow, but to use you. But to use it against you, right? And that's why discernment is so important. God can give you the strength to stand up tall, but if you allow things or people that constantly pull at you, they will wear you down little by little. And back to the Bible, right? Look at Samson, right? He didn't lose his strength in one night. He lost it because he kept giving access to Delilah, right? Somebody who was slowly chipping away at his power. That's the warning. Not everything that feels close to you is safe, right? Betrayal itself rarely happens overnight. It happens in patterns, in small moments, in subtle signs, things that you felt in your gut but chose to overlook. We often think they'll switch up when really they show us who they are the whole time. And I'm always using psychology to back things up, and betrayal lights up the same part of the brain as physical pain, right? And that's why it hurts so deeply and why we replay it, right? There's something that's called betrayal blindness, right? Where your brain downplays those red flags to protect the attachment that you have to that person, to that thing, right? And the deepest cut of all of that is self betrayal, right? It's when you see the inconsistency, you feel the misalignment, and you say. But here's the part that most people don't talk about. And it's the positive side of betrayal. Now, here's what actually shifts when you choose growth and the positive side of betrayal, right? And the first thing is you start trusting yourself again, right? After that oh moment, you stop second guessing your gut, right? And you no longer need constant validation from others because you've learned to listen to yourself first. Another thing that happens is your standards go all the way up, right? Not just with people, but with jobs, with opportunities, and how you allow yourself to be treated. You stop settling for potential and you start requiring that consistent character, and you stop auditioning for those roles in toxic stories. Now, another thing that happens is you start moving differently, right? You're still kind, you're still you, but now you observe more, right? You notice the patterns faster. You don't give unlimited access to people who haven't earned it, and you protect your energy without becoming cold. Another thing that happens, right, with betrayal is you build real resilience, right? You discover a strength you didn't know you had, right? You survived the knife in the back. And that knowledge makes you bolder, and you realize you can handle hard seasons and come out wiser. And lastly, it redirects your entire life. What feels like pain, rejection, is often divine protection and redirection, right? The friendships that ended clear space for deeper connections. That one job that fell through makes room for the right opportunity. And the situation that, didn't work out was God removing what you were too loyal to release yourself from, right? And as I said, right, even Judah betrayal didn't stop the resurrection, right? It just positioned it. And then if you know Ariana Maddox, right, came through Sandoval stronger and brighter. Steve Jobs got fired from his own company and returned to build something legendary. And it's simply saying, I see it now and I won't unsee it again. And day to day, that looks like, quiet awareness, right? You don't have to react to everything. You don't ignore the energy either. If something feels off, pause. If somebody moves weird, observe. And I want to be clear to you listening right now, right? I'm not trying to control people, right, or force loyalty, but I want you to, focus on protecting your peace and staying aligned with, who God is shaping you to be, right? And if He removes somebody through a betrayal moment, I know I do, and I hope you do, is you trust it. It's not a loss, it's protection. Like I said, we just came out of Good Friday weekend, and this is a powerful reminder that we are forgiven. We are covered by grace, and we are allowed to start fresh. So this Monday, this isn't just another Monday. This is a, clean slate, a fresh heart, a renewed mindset. Whatever you've been carrying, the guilt, the overthinking, the I should have known better, the replayed conversations, leave it right here. God already handled it. Now it's April. The weather is changing. The seasons are shifting. And whether you see it yet or not, so are you. You're one day closer to your goals, one decision closer to your next level, one step closer to the life that you've been praying for. So don't play small today. Don't let one temporary situation take you out of character. And please, don't walk around acting like God forgot about you. He didn't. He never does. Get up, get dressed, drink your coffee or your tea, no judgment. Mind your business a little and elevate it too, because you're not behind. You are being strategically positioned. You're not starting over, you're starting wiser. You're not lost, you're being led by God who sees the full picture. So walk into this Monday like you know something good is coming, because it is. I'll see you same time, same place, still showing up. Bye now.